Twisted minds unique.
Welcome back, horror fans. I'm Slash Sister Jen.
And I'm Slash Sister Hallie, and today we are unlocking the gates of hell with Hellbound, Hellraiser II from 1988.
Yeah, this one was directed by Tony Randel, instead of being directed by the one and only Clive Barker. Although he was heavily involved with a lot of it. He just didn't have the time to direct it.
1 and 2 are my favorite out of the entire franchise for the Hell. Well,
Honestly,
the 2022 one was good too.
The first two go so well together. They really could. You could just take the first two and forget the rest of it even happened. But I digress. Also stars Claire Higgins, Ashley Lawrence, and of course, returning, the wonderful Doug Bradley as Pinhead.
Yes. The sequel picks up right where the original left off, plunging us deeper into the labyrinth, the Cenobites' domain, and the horrors that lie beyond the box.
The man in the box?
I'm the man in the box.
This box.
Pinhead
Right
truly is
the
man in the box. That's for sure. I do want to say one more quick little thing about Doug Bradley, because not only do I love this man, I find his voice to be so incredibly beautiful, but he is a big old Ghost fan, like big time Ghost fan. Like straight up on the last tour, not Skeletor, but Imperator, was taking pictures in the pit with fellow fans. So yeah,
I do remember seeing that.
I love him, and I love that he loves my favorite band. Anyways, carrying on, we have our own little Lament configuration here. Not quite nearly as intricate as the one in the movie.
Because nothing can be quite as intricate as the one in the movie, because it's got multiple moving parts.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. There we go. Did you put it back together wrong? No, you got it. She got it. Ignore me.
You think I'm trying to summon them?
I hope not.
We would both be fucked.
Yeah, I can't run like Kristy through those hallways. I would get winded very quickly.
You can't run from them anyway.
Well,
you have to bargain with them.
Kristy and Tiff did. Anyways.
In this one, yeah. Before we open up the box of terror, don't forget to slash that subscribe button, stab the like button, and ring-a-ling the grave bell so you don't get lost in the mix and can stay up to date on all of our Slash Sister reviews.
So, ready or not, pain has a new home. It's open. It's time to open the box of horrors that is Hellbound Hellraiser II.
In 1920s India, British military officer Elliot Spencer is transformed into Cenobite Pinhead after opening the Lament Configuration, which was the only other configuration that this can do.
Yes, we get to see a very handsome young Doug Bradley. I don't know about handsome, but he's handsome. I think he's handsome.
There was supposed to be more of an elaborate backstory featuring Elliot Spencer's character prior to becoming the Hell Priest, Pinhead, that we all know and love, that ended up getting scrapped. I don't think they ever even filmed the footage, but from what I understand, like, most of that made it into Hellraiser 3.
Right, yeah. I mean, it seems like Clive Barker's MO a lot of times is, if he didn't get it into the first one, he's going to put it into something else. But that's a lot of directors.
Assuming that there are going to be sequels.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of Clive Barker stuff has not received a sequel that...
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that don't need sequels.
Midnight Meat Train needs a sequel.
Yeah, I would love to see a sequel of that.
Or a prequel. I would love to see... Vinnie Jones is too old to do it now, but I would love to see, like, his, like, becoming the Butcher or whatever.
Yeah, I would love to
I would have loved to. Anyway, we're off topic.
Shortly after her father is killed by Frank Cotton, Kristy Cotton is admitted to a psychiatric hospital. In fact, we actually kind of start the film with like a recap from the first movie. It's quick. It's just a couple of minutes,
right?
But yeah,
it kind of shows like the main beats
hits
of
from the
like
first movie.
Yeah.
But then we wake up with we go to Kirsty as she's waking up in a psychiatric hospital, and being interviewed by Dr. Chenard and his assistant, Kyle McRae, who is also a doctor, apparently. She tells her account of the events of the first film and pleads with them to destroy the bloody mattress on which her murderous stepmother, Julia Cotton, died. She knows that Julia can come back because her blood's on it.
After hearing Kristy's story, Dr. Chenard, who is secretly obsessed with the Lament Configuration...
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why
are all these people obsessed with pain and pleasure?
Has the mattress brought to his home and convinces a mentally ill patient to lie on it and cut himself with a straight razor. Actually, he doesn't convince him to cut himself with a straight razor.
No, he just hands it to him.
He hands him the straight razor because he is, and there is a specific term for it, and I cannot remember it, but it is that right there.
Yes.
He is constantly thinking that bugs are crawling all over him. There is a specific phobia that that's what it was.
I can't remember what it is.
But yeah, so he, like, in his mind's eye, he's seeing bugs crawling all over him, and instead of him thinking that he's cutting himself, he thinks that he's, like, cutting the bugs, scraping the bugs off, and in turn, he is actually cutting himself.
Yes.
Bleeding on said mattress.
Yes. Couple different things real quick here. First off, have you seen the movie Bug?
Yes.
Ha!
Which version?
The Michael Shannon.
Okay, that's the remake.
Okay, don't care. Great fucking film.
No, it is. Creepy as all get out.
Secondly, the actor that plays this mental patient with the bugs on him is the same actor. Let's just talk about this. Pretty much the entire crew from the first film, that's why these two films go so well together. Pretty much the entire crew from the first film came back and did the second film.
Isn't it this guy, the actor that's playing the psycho, isn't he the one that was like the skinned version of Frank?
Yep, that's what I was just getting to.
That's what I thought it was.
They actually, cause his face never gets
very
seen
frail
in the first film. Well, you had to be really thin to be able to wear all those prosthetics. But yeah, so he's never, his actual face is never seen in the first film because he's completely covered in prosthetics, and they wanted to be able to give him like an on-screen role where he got to actually talk.
And his voice is never heard either.
In the first one, yeah. So they wanted to give him some lines, and obviously a pretty fucked up scene. But yeah.
I mean, it's Hellraiser. What is not fucked up about these scenes?
Very true. But the resulting blood on the mattress that he had brought to his office, which, by the way, Kyle is like in the office hiding behind a curtain at this point. So, like he's seeing all this happening. You know, he saw all of the different boxes in Chenard's office as well. So he's like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Chenard comes in, he hides, this all happens. So because the blood got onto the mattress, it frees a skinless Julia from the Cenobite dimension, and she subsequently consumes the patient of his energy. She like sticks his hand into the back of his head, just like Frank did in the first one, and sucks him dry. Yeah, it's insane. But after having snuck into Chenard's house to investigate Kirsty's claims, Kyle, like, he's there, but he flees in absolute terror, which I would too.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kristy meets a young mute patient named Tiffany who demonstrates an amazing aptitude for puzzles.
Weird.
Like this.
Got this weird puzzle box. You want to try? Yeah, man. You know you wanna.
No.
No?
No.
Sorry.
Later that night, Kristy is awakened in her room by a vision of grisly, skinless figure whom she believes to be her father, and who writes a message in blood, begging her to rescue him from hell. McRae returns to the hospital and tells Kristy he believes everything is true. I would too, but that works. The two decide to return to Channard's house.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Channard is absolutely seduced by the bloody, gross, muscly Julia.
Skinless.
And has brought more mentally ill patients to his home for her to feed on. In order to complete her regeneration, because, you know, walking around and leaving blood prints all over the doctor's nice, white, clean house is probably not going to be very easy to clean up.
So he initially wraps her in, like, bandages, kind of makes her look like a mummy, but then she ends up in, like, a pristine white fucking suit.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I mean, the stark contrast of the bloody skin body against the white cloth, visually captivating.
But it's like,
but why?
This doesn't work, y'all.
I mean, you just ruined that entire suit.
Yeah. But so Kristy and Kyle arrive at Channard's house. At this point, she's okay. So she has gotten her skin back. She looks like herself, but she's still missing pieces. Like part of her back's still missing. She's kind of a mess still. But she walks up to Kyle, who is like surrounded by bodies, and like immediately seduces him, sticks her hand in the back of his head and drains his ass. And that fully regenerates Julia, and Kristy sees her and then is knocked unconscious.
Channard and Julia kidnap Tiffany and force her to unlock the Lament configuration so that they can enter the labyrinth-like world of the Hell Priest.
And the Order of the Gash.
Mm-hmm. Or, as the common tongue is calling it, Pinhead and The Cenobites.
Yes. That's what most people know them as. In the book, he is referred to as... In the book, they are referred to as the Hell Priest
because they're very androgynous.
Sexless.
Right.
They do not have a gender. Mm-hmm. It is led to believe that they have always existed, or at least that's what they told us in the first film. But clearly, we find out later that that's not true. Well, we found out at the beginning that this wasn't true.
Right. The Cenobites momentarily spare Tiffany, aware that while she was physically responsible for unlocking the Lament configuration, the actual intention and desire behind it were Channard's.
Which, like, okay. But why'd they come after Kristy? Her intent was not to...
Because she made a bargain with them in the first one and reneged. So they want retribution.
But why'd they come after her in the first one?
Because she opened the box.
Not with the intent of sins of the flesh.
No, but Tiffany is also a little bit more spectrum-ish than
Yeah, but I'm
Kristy.
just saying, like, respect your rules, Cenobites. Come on, get it together.
Since when has a franchise not rewritten the rules as it's progressed throughout the fucking story of all the different films?
Okay, you're right. And it does get worse. Anyways... So, in Hell, because, you know, at this point, the Cenobites have now taken Channard and, Channard and Julia go walking straight in, right? She, like, takes him to show him the world that she loves so much now. The entity Leviathan, which is the Lament configuration... changed into this diamond-shaped, which
so
the representation is above the labyrinth. Mm-hmm. The representation is that is God.
Right. So this has multiple configurations.
Right.
The one to open the doorway to this other realm, hell, or whatever, is the Lament configuration. But there's also a configuration known as the Leviathan configuration.
Right. There's multiple. There's other ones too.
That one plays heavily into the 2022. Mm-hmm. Because that's how the box starts off, is in the Leviathan configuration in the 2022 Hellraiser.
Right. So Leviathan is the god of this realm. It's actually really interesting. So like when they're walking across the top of the labyrinth, which is clearly painted, by the way, but while they're walking across the top of the labyrinth, Channard and Julia, they use some kind of like ancient instrument to, in Morse code, put out the Morse code for God. So like that sound that you're hearing in the background, that like sounds like horns, but it's in Morse code to God. So it's like
Sounds like horns, like the sounding of the seventh trumpet.
interesting. Anyways, so it is in the shape of an elongated diamond, and it rotates in space above the labyrinth and shoots out like black beams that make Channard remember some of the atrocities he committed, actually. Julia calls Leviathan the god of flesh, hunger, and desire, and the lord of the labyrinth. Kristy, who now possesses the Lament Configuration, follows them in. Tiffany is already in there wandering her ass around.
Right, because you have to have sacrificial cannon fodder, basically.
Sure, I guess.
I mean, that's what you're led to believe at this point, at least.
Right.
Pinhead and the other Cenobites find Kristy and tell her she is free to explore. Julia betrays Channard to Leviathan to be turned into a Cenobite as Channard screams during the procedure.
This procedure is fucking gross.
A hellish parody of a blood transfusion. Julia reveals that she has a mission to bring souls to Leviathan, including Channard's. The actor that is playing Channard in this could not be in like the harness like the whole time, because I think he had he was like chair ridden or whatever the case was. So it's two different actors playing Channard after he becomes the Cenobite thing, because he's got like a thing on his tantamount to like
it looks
an
like
umbilical
a giant dick, okay, you guys? I know it's supposed to be an umbilical cord. It looks like a penis. With a head and everything, veins. It's a penis. I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is.
But so the only time that the actual actor is in the makeup is when it's a close-up of his face. When they're doing wide body shots, it's a separate actor that's in that harness and everything.
Gotcha.
This is why we do it.
Yeah.
Tidbits of knowledge.
You know. Kristy then encounters her uncle Frank Cotton in the labyrinth. Yeah, fucking Frank. I will say, though, we did get the same actor back. In the previous film, even though he is American, they dubbed his accent, or his voice. It's not his voice. They used a different American actor's voice in the first film.
I didn't even fucking notice.
Yeah. So in the second film, it's actually the actor's real voice this time. We get to hear Frank.
I'm gonna have to like sit down and watch 1 and 2, because I've never sat down and watched them back to back.
They're so good together. They're so good.
I mean, I know that they would be. I've just never taken the time to sit down and watch both of them back to back.
Yeah, the very first time that I watched them 1 and 2. So I've always kind of like
looked as 1 and 2 as one story.
Yeah, because then 3, even though like the end of this does kind of like 3 sort of starts out explaining how they can come back. Anyways, like I still feel like it's like they're grasping at straws. Like this 1 and 2 could have been it and been done and been perfectly fine.
But you know, studios being what they are.
Money.
This is me milking the cash cow, by the way.
Yeah. So Kristy encounters Frank in the labyrinth, who reveals that he tricked her by pretending to be her father.
Yep.
And all around Frank, which is driving him crazy because he's in his own personal hell, are all these women, bloody women, coming out of the walls that he can't fucking touch. Sorry, Frank. So Julia appears at this point and rips Frank's heart out in revenge for Frank betraying her earlier. which
earlier
allows
would be
Kirsty
in one.
previous film, which allows Kirsty to escape, and Julia is then sucked away by a vortex that opens within the labyrinth. She's holding on to the Leviathan configuration, and her body just gets scooped right out of the skin, leaving behind this deflated Julia skin. Just quite funny.
Wonder if that'll come into play later.
Maybe.
Kristy and Tiffany reconnect and attempt to escape, but are ambushed by Channard, now a full Cenobite.
And like really just wanting to wreak havoc on everything.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
He was a piece of shit before he became a Cenobite.
Yeah, but now he's like even worse. Maybe. I don't know. I guess Cenobites are supposed to be this way, right?
Yeah, Cenobites are supposed to be this way, but he was a piece of shit before he became a Cenobite. We do find out a little bit later that we always thought, like, prior to this, that Cenobites kind of just existed and were there.
Well, obviously they're created because Channard was just created.
Right. So,
and we saw Pinhead get created.
Right. So they do start off as human, but they don't remember being human is the thing.
Yeah, they even said in the first film, like, we've always been this way.
Mm-hmm.
We've always been here. We've always existed.
The girls flee and encounter Pinhead and the other Cenobites. Kristy shows Pinhead the photograph, which, by the way, when she took the photograph, she tried to put it in her pocket.
Yeah.
It didn't go in the pocket.
Did it fall out?
No, she didn't even have it close to the pocket. She just put it on her coat and just slid down the coat.
Well, whatever. It worked.
But it made it in the film.
But yeah, it was in the script, Hallie.
Right. No, that wasn't in the script. It was in the script for it to go in the pocket.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, she shows Pinhead a photograph of him as Spencer that she took from Channard's study, and he gradually remembers that he is human. The other Cenobites also remember that they were once human, but as they remember, they revert back to their human form.
Right.
Pinhead does not.
He starts to,
but because he was already kind of like, he's able to bring the whips and chains.
Yeah. Suddenly, Channard appears and beckons Tiffany, who is shocked, into regaining the power of speech.
Good for you.
Pinhead and the other Cenobites attempt to fight Channard, but he easily overpowers them because they have reverted back to being human.
So he overpowers them by reverting them back to their human form.
Right.
He tries to do it to Pinhead, but Pinhead, he's a little bit smarter. He's a little bit wiser because he's been at it for way more years.
Yes. But he does appear to kill all of the Cenobites at this point. Appear to. Before being killed by Channard's scalpel-wielding tentacles, serpent things.
What the fuck were those things?
That was nuts. Spencer exchanges a poignant glance, and we do call him Spencer, I guess, for now, because he's not Pinhead anymore.
Right, because he does revert back to his human form.
And he does look over to Kristy.
Channard traps Kristy and Tiffany. Kristy finds Julia's flayed off skin and adorns it.
Puts it on over her own body.
To distract Channard and give Tiffany enough time to solve the Lament configuration again. This time in reverse. In trying to extricate, sometimes words are very fucking hard.
Yeah, I know.
Extricate his trapped serpentine tentacles, Channard rips himself apart.
Yeah, I think Leviathan rips his head off, if I'm being real honest with ya. This is a fucking gnarly death. Gnarly.
And the door to hell is finally closed, and the girls leave the hospital.
Yeah, together. I assume she adopts Tiffany.
Well, so they were both admitted, they were both patients in there. So, one, who admitted them?
So they do show, like, in a little, like, dream sequence, Tiffany's mom admitted her.
Okay.
And then Channard did something to her mom.
Okay.
So her mom might be in the basement of the hospital.
Okay. But still, Kristy was
Yeah, Kirsty was admitted by someone.
Right.
I guess they're just gonna let her go.
So the point I'm making with that is unless you check yourself in of your own volition into a psychic ward or psych ward.
A psychic ward? I would go to a psychic ward. That sounds like fun.
Psychiatric ward.
That sounds like fun too.
Didn't I pick you up at there?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway.
That's where we met.
That's a story for another time, folks. Let's be honest, that's a story for another time. But unless you check yourself into a psychiatric ward of your own volition, you cannot just simply walk out at any given point.
No, and I'll tell you, even from my own personal experience, when you check yourself in, it is a strict 7-day hold.
Mm-hmm. And I doubt that Kristy was there for 7 fucking... Well, maybe
at that point.
Maybe throughout the course of the entire film, the entirety of this film, she was there for 7 days. Yeah. But still, I think it'd be...
She has to be released by a doctor, though.
Yeah.
So... Mm-hmm. Anyways, so that's the end of the movie, though. Well, is it? Because then we get the 2 moving men who are at Dr. Chenard's place. And it's actually the moving man from the first movie who moved that same exact mattress into the fucking house in Kirsty's dad's house in the first place. But they are there, removing Dr. Chenard's belongings from his home. And the same guy, gets pulled into the fucking mattress. And then one of the other movers witnesses a mysterious pillar rise from the mattress. One of the faces fused to the pillar is the vagrant from the previous film, the one who
sold.
Yep.
Or gave
the Lament Configuration
Frank the box.
One of the faces on there is Pinhead. But the vagrant guy, the end of the film is the vagrant guy saying, "What's your pleasure, sir?" And that's where we're left.
Cut to black, that's it, no more box.
Yes,
for a little bit.
For a little bit. Honestly, I think that the first 2 films are a perfect encapsulation. It does a great job of showing us what it looks like in hell. Or in Clive Barker's hell, at least.
Right. So I know that this is based off a Clive Barker short story.
Mm-hmm.
And
The Hellbound Heart.
Yeah, it wasn't in the Books of Blood or...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Hellbound Heart. Okay, that was my next question. I could not remember the name of it. So Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, do you think that that's a nod to the original source material?
Yes, it is. It is supposed to be more of a nod to the original.
As opposed to just calling it Hellraiser?
Yeah. Yeah, because it wasn't called Hellraiser. It was called The Hellbound Heart.
Right, the book or the short story was.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. This is a bloody machete up for me. I love this film. Of course, there's the special effects are still really great. We don't even have to see the weird creature coming down the hallway that you can see the fucking trolley on.
Yeah, that we pointed out.
We missed that. We were getting better here, guys. The effects are great. The Cenobites look amazing.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that I would have loved to have seen, and we get a recap, like you said at the beginning of this, where the body is reanimated and everything.
Yeah.
I wish we would have gotten a scene like that in this with another one of them regenerating. Or whatever.
Apparently it was very, very expensive to film that.
I can't imagine fucking why.
I don't know.
Can't imagine why. No, this is 2 bloody machetes up from us. As Jenny has so eloquently pointed out over the course of this video, 1 and 2 really go hand in hand together. Like if you're gonna watch 1, watch 2.
Yep. Watch them together. They're so good. Let's get it the heck on out of here. We got another new-ish for us. New-ish film coming up, I think, next. I took a peek. I peeked to see what
I completely forgot what was coming up next, too.
Have you seen this one yet?
I have not seen this one
Another one that Hallie hasn't seen, and I'm very excited about this because it's one of my favorites. She thinks she's not going to like it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility. I know that they're currently in pre-production on a sequel for it.
Yep.
I think the sequel is called They Follow?
They Follow? Yeah.
So with that being said,
come back next week and see our review of It Follows. I love this one. It's a good one. It's creepy. It's fun. It's exciting.
It's different. I know that just from watching the trailers of
Yep.
it. It's very different from like your standard like ghost stories and
Yeah,
everything
for sure,
like that.
for sure. So watch this and come back next week where we'll break it down for you. But until next time, make sure you slash the subscribe button
Stab that like button.
and ringling the grave bell so you don't get buried alive and you stay up to date on all the things we're doing right here on the Tube of You.
I love that she says that.
You started it.
I know.
And until next time, we will see you all
In the afterlife.